Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at non-calculator paper 3 for level 1. And in this first question, we can see it's a money question. So we've got some money information here. And the really important information we're being told in these two sentences. So we need to look at what this is actually telling us. So it's talking about 4 days. And she's going to buy a weekly ticket instead of 4 daily tickets. So if she was going to get 4 daily tickets, she would be spending £3.40 times 4, or you could just add £3.40 4 times, of course, if you preferred to do it by adding. So 4 zeros are 0, 4 fours are 16, 6 carry 1, 4 threes are 12, plus 1 makes 13. So if she was going to get the 4 daily tickets, it would cost £13.60. And the weekly ticket, as we can see in the table, is £12. So how much money does Marley save in total? So she's going to save £13.60 minus £12, which you can possibly work out without doing this, but of course it's good to show you working out. So that gives us £1.60. Okay, next question. Here is a set of data. Calculate the range of this set of data. So here we're being tested on how you calculate range. So range, of course, is the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. So when we look at these numbers at the top here, the biggest is 19.5 and the smallest is 9.4. So the range is going to be 19.5 minus 9.4. That's how we work out the difference. Nothing too nasty here. So 5 take away 4 is 1. We line up the decimal points. 9 take away 9 leaves you nothing. And then 1 take away nothing, of course, is 1. So there we've got a range of 10.1. So it's just the difference between the biggest and smallest numbers. Next question says use estimation to show a check of your answer. Now we know when it says show a check, that means like reverse calculations ordinarily, just reversing the calculation you just did. But we also know that when a question says use estimation, you have to round the numbers to nicer numbers. So 19.5, we could round that to 20. 9.4, normally we'd say that's closer to 9 than 10. But for the purposes of this, it's going to be easier if we just say round 9.4 to 10 instead of 9. Because what we're going to want to do here is we're either going to want to say if we were reversing it, 10 plus 10 equals 20. So that would be a reverse of this calculation using estimation. Or when we've got one of these show or check questions that asks you to use estimation, they actually allow us to just do it in the same order, as long as we are rounding the numbers. So there we could just say that, well, that a check of that is roughly speaking 20 take away 10 makes 10. All right, so whether you want to do it this way, using the reverse calculation like we normally would, but using rounding because it says use estimation, or because it's an estimation show or check question, we are allowed to, if we prefer to, just keep it in the same order. It doesn't have to be a reverse calculation on these estimation check ones. Okay, next question. So this is a little bit longer, as you can see. Lee works in a garage. He has these jobs to do on Tuesday. The Tuesday bit's irrelevant. So we've been told this information: how long the service is, how long the oil change is, how long to replace a headlight. Then he's going to start the first job at 9, a break of half an hour after the first two jobs. So 9 o'clock plus half an hour, of course, is 30 minutes plus 30 minutes. So that's going to be 10 o'clock. And then the service is 1.5 hours, so that's 1.5 hours. So that would take them to 11:30. The oil change is 3/4 of an hour. So 3/4 of an hour is, of course, the same as 45 minutes, because 3/4 of 60 is 60 divided by 4 times 3, which is 45 minutes. So 11:30 plus 45 minutes would take us to 12:15. And then to replace the headlight is 20 minutes. So 12:15 plus 20 minutes is 12:35. And Lee thinks he will finish the last job before 1 p.m. Well, 12:35 is less than 1 p.m. because 1 p.m. is the same as 1300, of course. So will Lee finish the last job before 1 p.m.? So that requires a yes or no answer in this box. So yes, he will. So when you've got a question like this, you just want to show, just bit by bit, add in the different bits of time on. So don't try and do it all in one go, just do it bit by bit. And as long as you know how many minutes are in an hour, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, etc., you'd be absolutely fine. Okay, this question, place the correct number in the space to complete the sentence. Angles around a point add up to how many degrees? So angles around a point. So if this is the point in question, so this central point on this pie chart, and we've got these three angles, well, of course, those three angles put together form a circle, don't they, as we can see? And of course, circles have 360 degrees. So when it says angles around a point, it's what it's really getting at is that there are 360 degrees in a circle. So those three angles added together have got to add up to 360. Now, the pie chart shows where 1,800 people went on holiday in 2018. So when we look at this first sentence, this is telling us that this entire chart is for 1,800 people. So out of those 1,800 people, so many went abroad, so many went on no holiday, and so many went on a holiday in the UK. Shelley thinks that 540 of these people went abroad on holiday. Well, when we look at the abroad section, which is this top right corner, when we look at it, look at the symbol we've got there in that corner. So as we know, when we've got that little square symbol there, that is the symbol for a right angle. So that means this 90-degree angle, and in a circle, of course, we've got 360 degrees. So if we said 360 divided by 90, then what this pie chart is really telling us, if the answer to that is 4, is that really what this is telling us is that 1/4 of all the people who went on holidays abroad. So what we've got to do here to answer this question is work out 1/4 of the 1,800 people. So if we divide it by 4, so 4 into 1 doesn't go, 4 into 18 goes 4 times, because 4 4s are 16. So we've got 2 left over. 4 into 20 goes 5 times, and we're left with the 0. So what we can see there is that actually it's 450 people, not 540 people. So what Shelley did is she got the 5 and the 4 the wrong way round. So is Shelley correct? No, Shelley is not correct. So again, this question here, is Shelley correct? That requires a yes or no answer in this box. So because the actual answer was 450 and not the 540 that Shelley thought, then the answer down here is no. All right, and that concludes our non-calculator paper. I hope that helps for you to see some of the ways in which we approach some of these questions without a calculator at level 1. Of course, go back through the video if you need to. Stop, pause, play at your own pace. If you've got any questions on any of this, of course, as always, just let me know. Thank you.